Hi everyone, it's Dana. So today's topic is not a very fun one, but I think it should be interesting and probably shocking to Japanese people. So recently I was having a conversation with Tomo and his mom, and my student loan debt came up. And Tomo asked me, how much student loan debt do you have? And I said, I don't know. And he's like, what do you mean you don't know? Well, I didn't really know exactly because I have student loans from 3 different companies and I never really wanted to think about it because it's not fun. So I just kind of ignored it. I paid my student loans every month and didn't think about it. But let's talk about it. So first of all, I think it's important to talk about what I did for university. So first, I went to Suffolk University in Boston. I actually got to spend 2 years in Madrid studying Spanish at their Madrid campus. After that, I studied abroad in London. And then finally, I went back to Boston to finish my degree. So that was my bachelor's degree in history. And then after that, I went to the University of Massachusetts at Boston and got my master's degree in history. So I have 2 degrees and a lot of debt. So my bachelor's degree was definitely the most expensive, as it usually is. So normally when students are about to graduate high school, they apply to a lot of different universities that they're interested in and see which ones accept them, how much it costs, and then make a decision on which one they're going to attend in the next year. So of course I did that as well. And I graduated high school as valedictorian, so I thought this should be easy. I should be able to get into good schools, and but unfortunately I didn't get any full scholarships or anything like that, but Suffolk University offered me a half scholarship. So that sounds great, but the tuition was so high that it still meant I had to pay a lot of money. So my parents helped me out a lot in the beginning. So they paid about, I think, $60,000 towards my tuition and also my rent as a student. So my housing fee at the university, and later when I moved out of student housing and I found my own apartment in Madrid, they also used that money to pay for my rent. So there is about half from the university, and after that my parents paid about half of the remaining amount. So that meant I had to pay about a quarter of my own university fees, which is a lot. So I had federal student loans every year, which the American government gives us. Basically, your school will automatically tell you how much the federal student loans will cover. But after that, if there's any more amount that you still need to pay, you have to get private loans. So I had to get private loans from a company called Sallie Mae. So I have student loans through the private company, and unfortunately I had to take out, I think maybe in the beginning it was about $30,000 from this private company. I'm not 100% sure though, because I have been paying them. And so now my balance with the private company is about $20,000. So then I also have loans that were given to other banks, and those loans are, one of them is smaller. It's about $5,000. So that payment every month is about $150. The private company payment is about $500 a month. The small other loan is about $150 a month. And then lastly, I have my federal loans, which to be honest, I don't think about. So this is why I didn't know how much I owed, because the private loan and the small loan, that $25,000 in loans, basically, I have to pay every month. So every month I pay in total about $650. But I also have another loan that, because it's from the federal government, it has a good interest rate and I can easily defer payment, meaning my income is not high enough, so they don't make me pay. So I believe it was about like $90 before. But before I came to Japan, my income was not a lot of money. So thankfully, my payment was set to 0. So I kind of just forgot about it. Then Corona happened, and maybe you've heard about this, but in America, they decided to halt student loan payments during the pandemic because so many people lost their jobs and weren't making a lot of money. So yeah, again, I didn't have to think about it. I don't have to pay this loan, so it's not even, I'm not gonna waste any mental energy worrying about it. And then, like I said, I was talking to Tomo and his mom about it, and Tomo was like, how much is it? And I'm like, I don't know. So I logged in, and it's like $34,000. Whoops. Totally forgot about that. So yeah, in total, my student loan debt at the moment, after I've been paying them off for about 10 years, but still my student loan debt at the moment it's about $60,000 now. So yeah, that sucks. So basically, my school paid half, my parents paid a quarter, and I pay a quarter. So it still ends up being a quarter was like 60,000. So it sucks to have to pay like 600 bucks a month. And until recently, I didn't have a good job that even paid enough money to really actually pay my student loans, even though I went to school to study to find a job after university, and it's really difficult to find a good job in America. So you might be wondering, why is this situation so bad with student loans in America? And there's no easy answer to that. But part of the reason is that students can easily get a loan for any crazy amount because basically the federal government backs it up. So normally, like if you don't have a lot of money and you try to buy a house, right, the bank will decline your loan. They won't let you get a loan. But it's not like that with student loans. So even if the university is charging an exorbitant amount of money, the banks will give students loans. So that means that the universities can keep raising the tuition and know that the banks will keep supplying the money for the tuition. The other thing is, in America, university has basically become like high school number 2. Like it's expected that everyone goes to university. And if you don't, it's difficult to get a job. So basically everyone feels that pressure, like I have to go to university. I have to pay this crazy high tuition, otherwise I won't make any good money. And even in high school, like the counselors and everyone is just like, go to college, go to college, go to college. And there isn't much conversation about what you should study, what will get you good paying jobs. People go to college for degrees that don't get you a good paying job, but then they still have thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of student loan debt. And if they're like me, then they end up working at dead-end part-time jobs that they can't pay their student loan debt every month with. So the effect of this is basically my generation, almost everyone has student loan debt, like a huge amount. And because of this, they can't afford to buy houses, they can't afford to have children, and we're all basically restrained by this amount of money we have to pay every month. I mean, it's like a second rent. It's like having an extra apartment that you don't get to use. So yeah, it's just an all-around crappy situation, and I think Japanese people, maybe this is shocking or new information for you, because in Japan, I think university is not so expensive and people don't have to take out these huge loans. Yeah, but that's what I wanted to tell you about. Please let me know in the comments your personal experiences with student loan debt. What is it like in your country? And I also wanted to say that I also have my own personal YouTube channel now, where I post only English language content. So if you're interested in following me there, I will put the link in the description. So please subscribe there too if you're interested. And thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye!